loves. How are you? Welcome back to the DeAnda Factor. Today we are mastering adulting, or at least giving adulting a firm side eye while in Mercury Retrograde and Scorpio. So let's just kind of jump into it. We're talking current affairs, surviving the Great Lock-in, 300,000 Black women being pushed out of the labor force. We may touch on that a tad bit, and how to stay in alignment when all your spirit really wants to do is hibernate until the spring thaw. So, anyway, grab your snack, grab your coffee and your boundaries, and get into it. Let's do this. Let's do it. So, if you're juggling emotions, responsibilities, and just trying to get ready for the day, and you're dealing with this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Hey, hello. DeAnda Renee here. Welcome to the DeAnda Factor. Let's get into the sweet spot. If you're like me, y'all, I'm feeling blue. I'm really in this real, like my shoulders are tense. I'm trying to wiggle out of it. And I'm not even going to get into the things that were happening just to get set up to do this video, which I've been trying to do all week just with things, but just haven't been in the mood. And I told myself that I would not come to you all when I'm not 100%. Just feeling the blues, leaning into it, what holiday woes, etc., etc., etc. I just been in my feelings. I have been tearing up. Some of it just been like, oh, okay, I'm just feeling a little emotional right now. And some of it's been the real, as Oprah call it, ugly cry, just like, okay, I got to let it out. And yeah, like just, I've been in my feelings. I've been in my feelings. And I think it does have to do with Mercury in retrograde, the 3i Atlas energy that's just there, you know. Um, I've been, you know, I'm a Virgo queen, and my wanting perfection is, I feel like, at an all-time high right now. And some of that energy is out of frustration. It's out of, well, if this is not perfect, then I get to kind of stew in the not perfectness of it. I get to rag on myself for the not being perfect, it not going, according to this plan that I've set for myself. And like everybody, I know that sometimes you have to pivot. Sometimes you do make a plan, and sometimes you got to say, okay, I made a plan, but now I'm going to have to throw that out and make a new plan. Imposter syndrome, all that entails, has been rampant of late. I want to say in the last couple of weeks to present day, to the last hour. It is just showing up in these really, but you know how to do this. You know what I mean? Just kind of second guessing. So I don't know if you've been feeling this too. Put it in the comments or whatever. Kind of let me know that I'm not alone. I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can use to stay grounded and add more compassion, and just give yourself a little bit of grace. And what the first thing that I would say is to just do that, to give yourself grace, to lean into the feelings, lean into, hey, I just got to cry it out right now. Cry if you want to, basically. If you need to scream, scream if you want to. and scream loudly. And then in turn, you will probably end up laughing and laughing out loud, right? Sometimes you have to get through the cry, the scream to get to the laughter. Allow yourself to do that, sis. Employ you to do that. Talk it out. So I'm always talking about this, and I will always continue to talk about this because it feeds me, it brings me joy, it helps me, it supports me. Getting into community, talking it out, accountability partners, therapy, your friends, family, tap into it, sis. Like, find that thing, find that person. That thing could be journaling, that thing could be a YouTube channel, a podcast that you're talking it out. You're just getting it out and you're not holding it in. I would also say when you're feeling your feelings, if you want to go a little deeper, and I'll link this in the description as well, a PDF of the Wheel of Emotion. And what that does is you look at, okay, how am I feeling today? Or what is this feeling I'm feeling? And don't, okay, I'm tired. Okay, let's go deeper. Why are you tired? That's what the Wheel of Emotion will help you do, is to go a little deeper. Also talking it out, talking to a therapist, talking to your accountability partner, whatever, A to Z with them will also help you unpack some of that as well. But do just that. Don't push it under the rug and say, oh, I'm just tired. It could be something medical, it could be stress. Stress is a killer. Get in front of it as much as you can, right? We're going to move on now to the great lock in and what it means to be, for me, what it means to be a Black woman in the workforce right now. A couple of things. Quite a few Black women have been pushed out of the workforce. We know this. Some of that is political, some of it is racism. And these are the things that we can't necessarily control. That's out of our control. That's stuff happening in the world, right? But the stuff that you can control, the management of your mental health. You can control your identity and what it is. Even if you're like, I need to restructure my identity. I'm not just a mom. I'm also this beautiful Black woman who is creative and who bakes delicious cakes and just all the things. You're not a one note. Nobody is. You're many things. Allow yourself to tap into what that is. Allow yourself to tap into, yes, I am DeAnda. I'm also a wonderful baker. I'm also a girly girl who loves makeup and all the things that means. Start listing those things that identify you, that people who know you immediately say, oh yes, that's you. And I love that about you. Tap into those things. Managing your money energy. And what I mean by that, not necessarily where it's coming from, but where it's coming from and also when it leaves. Managing the energy with that, saying thank you when you receive it and thank you when it leaves. Also, being okay when it leaves and not being stressed, what that number is in the bank account versus what you thought it was or what it should be or what society has told you at age 45 it should be this and I should have this and da 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 da, all the things. And now that I've been laid off from my job, where is it going to come from? That's not the energy I'm talking about. I'm talking about the energy where you are thankful for what you do have, the energy where you are looking forward to what's going to be coming in or what's coming in presently, right? So let's, start living in today and not next year, right? What's going on today? So yeah, let's do that. And I gotta always, kind of touch on branding because that's my neighborhood. But how to stay on brand and stay soft while navigating structural chaos, if you will. And chaos doesn't always have to be, just, things coming at you at 100 miles an hour. And it doesn't always have to be bad when it is coming like that. You can, you know, say to the universe, yeah, things are moving fast now, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm leaning into it. You know, I know how to slow it down when I need to slow it down. But at this speed, I'm loving it, right? Like lean into that part. Um, and staying on brand and staying soft means to me is what it means to me is you identifying exactly what your brand is and making sure that you stay in that lane and you're not all over the place. You're not. An example of that is what I'm trying to figure out right now. An example of that could be I want to start a business, but I don't really know where to start. And you're all over the place trying to figure that out. And you're doing all this busy work instead of honing in on one lane of starting that business. Some of the things that I will throw out, maybe looking at being pushed out of the workforce as not something bad that's happened to you, but a blessing that more and better is coming. Looking at the art of pivoting in your career, maybe tapping into a more creative career or a more creative way of doing the thing that you do. Maybe even taking a pause and saying, you know what, I'm going to sit out the next quarter and see what I really want to do. And that's not to rush into taking class over here and class over there. And you then end up at the end of 90 days with more knowledge, but still not really knowing exactly what you want to do. What I am imploring you to do is to just take a breath and really rest, really lean into finding out what you want that next thing to be. If it is a pivot and going in another sector, or if you are in, for example, HR, how do you leverage that in a way that doesn't feel heavy like work? Doesn't feel like work. It feels like something that I love. So you pick out that thing that you love about that industry. You pick out that thing that you do love. If it's the people, if it's the admin part of it, lean into that and see what you can leverage in terms of, hey, I think I want to go in this direction in that field versus the one that I was in prior to. And is it getting another job, working for someone else? Or is this your time, sis, to, dust off that notebook you have in the back of ideas that you've been putting off because you didn't have the time or you told yourself you didn't have the time? Now is the time. Now is the time to do that. Tapping into what is my purpose? What is my why? What is my reasonings for wanting a change? This thing happened where they said we no longer need your services here anymore. And believe me, they're gonna, you know, that's a whole nother Oprah show. I'm not gonna go and get into that. The thing is to concentrate on you, to tap into what is going to be, your thing now. The art of pivoting for you. Is that, like I said, looking at um restructuring what you thought your career was going to be at age 45 versus what it is now. And even those who are still in those positions, but scared that they're going to be pushed out, tap into why you're scared for a job that doesn't appreciate you, for a job that an employer who they can decide on a Monday, I no longer want you here. I no longer need you here. And why are you pouring energy into wanting to keep something that you don't necessarily want? As a Black woman, I know that those are thoughts that you're having. Oh, I need this job because, and you have a whole list of reasons, rent being one of them. I always say that what's for you is for you. And when a job decides that it's not for you, that's also, I believe, the universe whispering is something else for you. And I got you. I'm not going to let you fail. If you have faith in that, in yourself, and in that, you're going to be fine. You're going to land squarely on your feet. You're going to land squarely on your feet. I'm going to move on now because I was really getting into that one. But let's talk about the holidays because they are a holidaying. I think I mentioned I've been very emotional of late, and I know it has to do with being in Mercury retrograde and just the tenseness. I didn't get into the ins and outs of creating this video. I actually did. I did a video, or I thought I was doing a video, but it wasn't recording. I was putting on my makeup because I was trying to kill two birds with one stone. And yeah, so what did I do? I cursed at the screen, which it wasn't the screen's fault because I have to push the button to record. At any rate, I went in and said, okay, I'm just going to pivot, grab a sip of my coffee, and turn the recorder on. When I think about the things that are coming up for the holidays, I'm actually towards the middle of next month going to be packing up to move out of my apartment where there is happiness and great things are on the horizon for that to take place. I'm also grieving that I've been in that apartment for 15 years. So that's happening, and it's all happening right in the middle of the holiday season, which is my favorite time of year. While I've been so emotional, and I'm very tense right now. I keep grabbing my shoulders because they're so just like hard and stuck, and I need a massage, if you will. But I think after this, I have to go meet my friend. I'm going to have to get in a walk or something, maybe jump on the treadmill after I come back. Just because adding movement, journaling, talking it out, just having my emotions just flow the way they need to flow. If it's, like I said, cry it out, scream it out, laugh it out loud, just do that. Right. And so, with the holiday season getting ready it's already kicked off. It's already kicked off. The brunches, the holiday gatherings, the parties, all the things I love to do. Some of it I'm going to have to say, I'm not going to be able to do that and be okay with it. But yeah, there's quite a bit of things that's happening. I'm actually, the reason why I was doing my makeup and was going to be doing this video was I'm going to meet my girlfriend who is also an accountability partner. We meet once a month, and it's usually via phone or virtual. But I'm here, so we're going to meet in person. And we decided that what we're going to map out our next quarter, if not next year, 2026, and talk through some things, how we can support one another in these goals and things that we want to get done. And I cannot say this enough. The power of accountability partners is so great and so grand that I think every day, I am so thankful every day that I lucked up on and came across the Exodus Summit community. For the most part, introduced me to several of my now accountability partners, and this community, it just feeds me. It really does. I will also link in the description the last episode on my channel when I had MoTheGoddess on, and we actually streamed from both our channels last Sunday. I'll link that if you haven't seen it, please do. In that episode, we introduced and talked about the retreat that we are developing in 2026 in Bali, The Power to Be Naked. And I will also link the waitlist link, just a lot of L's, also in the description for you to get on the wait list and be the first ones to get the information once we are up and running on that. I'm just, like I said, I'm tired, but I'm tired in a good way. I'm happy to be doing the stuff that I'm doing. I'm happy to be moving towards structuring my life in a way that I only like dreamed that I would be living like this. I said when I was in, I think this was when I was in Rwanda. Yeah, because we were doing a lot of fast traveling by then. So I was in Rwanda in January, and I said, I don't want to come out like this again, meaning I don't want to travel where I am working, and have to log in at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so since then, since saying that, I have been putting some structures and processes in place so that I don't. And that's what I meant about earlier when I was talking about tapping into what is that thing? What are those things, or that thing, that one thing or several things that I can pivot into and do that I have so much passion for that I'm not necessarily doing now. Yeah, I'm getting paid for it, but there's no joy. There's no joy. And I know that if I continue to have these come to Jesus talks and manifesting what I do want, these goals, is happening because it's already unfolding. Meeting MoTheGoddess, you'll see in the video just how we met and how we knew that we were on the right track because we had so much in common. We were already thinking through stuff that was starting to just pop up, and just we claimed it. Anyway, I'm not going to get too long. I need to scoot off. I hope this episode reminded you that adulting is not a solo sport, especially during retrograde, layoffs, and holiday emotional Olympics, which, yeah, I said that. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Stay connected to community. I will always say that is always going to be my go to for you all. I want that for you. I have that, and I want that for you. And if all else fails, blend, breathe, and try again. That's all you can do, right? So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Bali retreat waitlist. Again, the link is in the description. If you're ready to step into 2026 with softness, sisterhood, and a whole new power. All right, loves. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.